Good evening, gamers, and welcome to tonight's CF1 broadcast. I am your host for the evening. I go by the name Speezy24, and joining me for the third night in a row, we're going back to back to back like Kobe and Shaq, but much shorter. Jag, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. It's a pleasure to work with you for the third night in a row, and we've got a very interesting game on our hands. I'm going to ask if we could please see those wonderful standings from the West region, because although these are going to be two teams that are more near the bottom of the standings, this is actually something that could really impact things going into relegation. Right now, South Dakota Coyotes, they're coming into this 2-4. CalPoly Pomona, they're coming to this 3-3. They're right next to each other. CalPoly, they win this, and Oregon or Colorado loses, they're in the safe zone. They are right now in that first spot of relegation from elimination, not getting into the second round robin. USD, they are not too far behind. They win this and everyone else loses. That's 3-3. Then it's a four-way tie. So there's a lot of very interesting possibilities tonight. And I think also another thing to note, USD, they're coming off a bye week. So, they could be a bit rusty.
They certainly could. I've hoped they've been playing some scrims together or even just five-man stacking in that ranked queue, because you never want to come out rusty. We saw it yesterday in the matchup. I don't even know if we can call it a match. It was Texas A&M's show match for that matter. But we hope this is going to be a good match for you folks here tonight. Again, CalPoly Pomona versus University of South Dakota. Jag, you had a chance to talk with some of these two teams today. Who are some of the players we should be looking out for on both of these teams?
For USD, you're going to be Red Frog. That's the person they want to get in the action. You see they have two players, Red Frog and Blue Frog, but it is red. It's not blue, so that's something to keep in mind. They also have some players, they said, that come in and out of the lineup, so we'll see if they bring them in. It looks like Joller is in for the time being, so that's a player that they said to look out for once they are in. For CalPoly, Warmest Aloha and Dryad, they said are pretty new. So these are actually new roster members coming in. Maybe not too new, but they're at least new enough to mention. But the people we should be looking out for them are Party Kid and this Ketchup Spicy. And it's not surprising the people that they expect to pop off are the people playing those duelist roles. And I said this last night, Jet, Reyna, I think that is the best duelist lineup you can have here on Ascent.
Yeah, it certainly is. Some of these long sight lines for the Jet with the operator can have a great impact on this game. So Party Kid's really going to have to go to work to get CalPoly Pomona started and get them rolling early. But speaking of map selection, we see here on the screen, we will be going to Ascent first. That was the pick of CalPoly. Map number 2, we will be going on to Haven. That was South Dakota's pick. And if needed, map number 3 tonight we'll see is Bind. So nothing too crazy coming out of these maps. Unfortunately, no Icebox. Would have loved to see it. And look at the synergy on this Jag. Every single player on CalPoly Pomona rocking that same calling card. You love to see it. The meme potential is there as well, but I like to see that everyone's on the same page. Doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like the little things, right? Obviously, it's not going to have a huge impact on the game, but that's just team camaraderie. That's something you want to see. But one thing you don't want to see right now, if you're CalPoly, is you kind of played into USD's hand a little bit. These are actually the 2 maps that they like the most. They said Ascent and Haven are their favorites, so this map pool might work out really well for them. Binds, they're kind of in the middle about. But if you're able to take this first map, able to get a bit of an upset because they are the underdogs coming into this, and then you're able to take Haven as well, that'll really shake things up. And one thing to note is that these lineups, agents-wise, are very similar. The only difference is Red Frog on the Raze and Party Kid on the Jet. Everything else is similar across the board, so there isn't going to be much of a agent comp difference that we can talk about, but I gotta say, Jet, I like it a little bit more than the Raze here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Razes go to work before. As we say that this Ketchup looking to get a little spicy during the pistol round, getting dropped to 15 HP and pushing Market. Blue Frog going to open things up before being immediately traded out. And we have action here on the B site. Oh, this is the issue, though. If Reyna gets the overheal in a pistol, it is very, very difficult to take them down. Party Kid looks to find the frag. Tailwind's out, but right into the hands of Veggie Clapper, who's going to clap Party Kid back to next week. 2v2 situation. Spike's making his way to A, and this could be detrimental. Riyadh with a heads-up play to find one. Red Frog finds the other. So it's Red Frog B. I believe, I can't tell who the Sova is on CalPoly just yet.
They're playing very aggressive right now. I'm surprised they didn't go for this spike plan a little bit earlier. I mean, you trade out, and it works out wonders for you because that Raze now is super weak, but Riyadh now the last person alive, and I think you got to try to close that door. Yeah, you got to close that door, but you don't want to walk through a tree. They're going to run into each other, but Riyadh able to get the flick. 3 kills for the Sova, and I feel like this is just the case sometimes, Sova, usually more of a stationary pick. You got to play back. You got to get your recon. You got to get your information, but when the time comes, that is usually, it's either that or the Omen that always pops off. I feel like they're going to be like the silent carry here and there.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it yesterday. Who was that Omen that popped off from Texas A&M? Dam, who started off?
And Barcode and Sova.
Yeah, they started off like 10-0, 13-0, something along those lines. So let's see if we can get a repeat performance here from either Riyadh or Roki Boy, as we're going to have a quick ace sight. Party Kids got the Spectre in hand, Tailwind, and that's a beautiful thing to see. We saw a lot of professional players talking about how good it is to Tailwind with Jet just to clear corners, and Party Kid putting it to work there. Stop this. Party Kid running and gunning has not been nerfed. Party Kid's going to Tailwind into Market on the attack before being taken down by Jolly Rory, but a 3K from Party Kid to get this thing started. That was huge.
Yeah, and I thought for a second we might see an ace in round number 2, but we don't. Joller did get a kill, but isn't able to get the Spectre, so there's really no way you can contest this. Maybe you can take the Omen on your way out, but they're just playing all the way back. I think you run into this, honestly, like, sure, you're going to be sacrificing some KD, but you get a little bit more credits for dying. You're not really saving anything here, and next round's going to be your bonus, so you can buy fully while CalPoly cannot. So it's a bit shocking that they're playing this defensive right now, and yeah, this is eventually going to end one way or another, not working out for Joller there. They end up falling, the spike goes off, and now we'll see if USD can win a round that should be pretty heavily in their favor, but I think you brought up a great point about this. The Tailwind just immediately uses the dash to get in, and then from there just cleans up, and man, it would have been impressive if they had gotten that kill on Joller before.
It certainly would have. Great 3K to start the round. Taking a look at the economies here. We're going to see the full buy come in from USD. Obviously, CalPoly going for that bonus round. Can they make it work? Because if they do, oh boy, USD Coyotes are not looking good in terms of economy. Going to be a slow A push here. There's a lot of Killjoy utility, so let's see if CalPoly decides to commit to this as everything's getting pinged, essentially. Spots one player in tree with that recon dart. And yeah, Jag, as you can see, they spotted the Killjoy util and decided to get the heck out of there. The rotation is coming in. Blue Frog knows what's up. Atlas tags down Warmest Aloha. I think that was a pick down Market, but Ketchup looking real spicy. Should call him Tabasco with that shot.
Does get traded out, and it's not really going right now for CalPoly's way. They did get the Blade Storm. They committed to A just to get that alt orb. They get a kill. Things are even once again, and Party Kid has popped off. Now has a Vandal. Bought full armor. Actually going to trade it off. Going to use the Blade Storm as their weapon. I love that. That is great team play, and that could actually give them this round, even though USD should have been winning it.
It certainly will. The Blade Storm's going to be where all the marbles lay. Not able to tag, but they got a Frenzy. Almost puts it to work. Do they do enough damage to Veggie Clapper there to leave it up to the teammates? No, they do not. Veggie Clapper's going to take down one. 2v1 situation. Riyadh hiding in Boathouse. Tries to isolate into 2 1v1s, but Red Frog going to take them down for the round. Get USD Coyotes on the board, and that's a quality adjustment from USD on the fly, or excuse me, from CalPoly Pomona on the fly, right? You hit that A push, slow it down, spot the Killjoy util, and then immediately rotate out. So great heads-up play, just unfortunate in terms of weapon advantage. Jag, if they have full weapons right there on both sides, you think CalPoly comes out ahead in that round?
I think absolutely, and I think this is going to be actually a great round for them. You trade one there, but you get a lot of kills. So look at the economy right now for USD. They cannot go for a full buy. Veggie Clap are going to have to go for a Stinger. Blue Frog still has yet to buy, so I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be trying to go. A Stinger as well, or not Stinger, Spectre. So 2 Spectres, 3 Vandals. I mean, the firepower right now is just in CalPoly's hands, and they also have the Hunter's Fury, so if they do get a quick plant, they'll have something to recontest a defuse without even having to go to the point.
Yeah, and a huge recon bolt there. He's going to spot out 3 separate players. Catch up. Don't throw the Leer through the window. Party Kid and Blue Frog doing a little tango there, as they do. Spike should be able to make its way onto site. No, Red Frog shut it down. They didn't clear site, CalPoly. They just called it clear without checking the actual site itself. Ketchup versus Red Frog in a 1v1. Ketchup's going to come out ahead on that one, 2v2. Plenty of utility left here for USD if they want to go for this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not
call it clear. Oh, Jolly can they find the timing on this? They do spot one, take down the turret. They know there's at least one player tied. Shock Dart might come through on that site. Killjoy turret Jag. This is a 3v1, 3v2 now at that situation. And the Shock Dart's doing work. Ketchup gonna jiggle peek, spot one. Mano y mano. Ketchup versus Joller. Who's gonna take this battle? No one knows until their mama hollers, and Ketchup gonna win this one. Clean clutch from Ketchup.
And what I was saying was, I was really surprised about the defensive approach that CalPoly took there. I feel like playing from attacker's spawn side probably isn't really where you want to be because you'll be cut out pretty quickly. But I mean, this Ketchup Spicy just finds the Sova kind of with their pants down there. Veggie Clapper caught doing the shock dart, can't fire back. And that's just a great headshot to clutch out that round. I was wondering if they'd commit the Empress. They don't. All things work out. They're still ahead. And while USD has a lot of ultimates now, their economy is just down the drain. Last time they went for kind of a half buy. Now they can't go for anything. They can't even force up here. It's just all sidearms.
Yeah, and look at how much respect USD is giving to CalPoly. I mean, they aren't contesting anything on this site. They are just allowing CalPoly to walk down middle, walk down cat, and take so much space. This could have huge implications here. Are they going to check the tree and spot the Sova? No, that could be huge. So Veggie Clapper going to respond with a drone of their own. Timing gets one, spots 2 players there. And the rotation is coming in. Take a look on your minimap. Ray's going to go for the lurk, but on screen, we have Roki Boy taking down Blue Frog. Omen diff in chat. Red Frog tries to get revenge for Blue Frog. Not able to do it. Ketchup is Spicy immediately there on the trade. And if they hit this this B site, doesn't even matter. Veggie Clappers got Market locked off.
Can they get the gun? That's what they need right now. The Sheriff is great, but once you fire that first shot and you miss it, then the fight does not go your way. It looks like they might be trying to commit to B, And I don't feel like CalPoly's honestly had the best defense on B once they have planted the spike. Hunters are going to actually delay it for just a second, but they'll still have plenty of time to actually get it down. They lose their arena, and I feel like the play there is to run in with Hunter's Fury, try to use it as a distraction instead of trying to actually find kills with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can tag default all you want, but there's still plenty of space on that site to actually plant the spike. That recon dart not going to do too much there. As Party Kid playing a super off angle here. Going to tag one, going to tag the second. Party Kid. They like to party. We like to party. That's what, his third 3K already, and we're in round number 6?
Yeah, I believe at least second, maybe third. I mean, they're just adding up so quickly. I can't even keep track right now, but this Jett is getting all the value, and although Red Frog is top fragging for their team, I think you're seeing again why Jett is just so good here. Her mobility, her ability to just jump up with her updraft, just so many good things you can do with a Jett there. They actually do the exact same play they tried before and didn't work. They just have someone kind of lurking from their spawn side. Look at this play right now. There's so many people at B. They're going to try to run in with the Blade Storm, but I think Party Kid's going to actually have a great advantage here, but then they use all their shots.
Yeah, Party Kid just tried to run it down, and look at all the utility that's being thrown out here from USD Coyotes. They're able to take down 2 players with that paint can as well as the showstopper, but that's a lot committed. I mean, now site's clear. Oh, the Reyna Wraith away. Leaves their teammate vulnerable, and this is Veggie Clapper all by their lonesome. This is going to be a difficult one to clutch up. Might want to call the save here from Veggie Clapper. They're going to try to do some decent damage with those shock darts. That just became so much more winnable. That's one. There's a second player in Boathouse not able to get it done as Ketchup. Going to close down round number 6, and CalPoly's looking polished right now.
Yeah, Empress just wins out there. Just so efficient. Such a great ultimate from the Reyna. Hops at the exact right time, is able to Wraith away, able to heal up a little bit too after taking some damage earlier on. So that's where that change comes in. That's where it's so effective. Use both orbs very quickly, but use one for the heal, use one for the Wraith. Only one of those was actually a kill from them. One of the other ones was assist, but you get 40 damage minimum. You can still get the Soul Orb ability online. So there, Spicy Ketchup, or Ketchup Spicy, able to stay alive, able to help get that round win, and now CalPoly early on are looking to have at least a draw going into halftime. It's looking good for them right now, and USD, I don't think they really have any money, any credits right now. I think, again, they're going to have to go for a light buy.
I think so, and this is going to be a good bait setup, but Ketchup just annihilating Jolly and Veggie Clapper. I mean, you can't eat ketchup with vegetables. It just doesn't work. And frogs, they don't like vegetables either. So, I mean, as long as they can keep this rolling, this might be a 4K no. Atlas, Reyna diff. Going to heal up off of that, grab the Vandal. You have the Empress, so you certainly could go for it. Taking a look at the health bars, Killjoy's low. Tag one shot onto Killjoy, and this becomes all the more doable, but I highly doubt that we're going to see them go for this one here. I mean, I'd be astonished if Atlas actually tries this.
Yeah, Atlas just does go for it, doesn't use the Empress, though, doesn't find anything, and Wormies Aloha with 8 health wins that fight. It's so hard to win that when there's someone on Catwalk. Just the angle you have is not in your advantage at all. You got to find the one-tap headshot, or your spray just ends up going crazy there. Couldn't find it. High ground wins. You know, I have the high grounds and all that fun stuff. So there, it's going to be another round for CalPoly, and there is going to be a buy, though, for USD. I think the biggest thing now is, like, ultimate economy. They've been holding on to a few things for a while now. They've used their Showstopper as well as Hunter's Fury. That's been it. I'd love to see the Empress just get popped immediately, maybe try to switch tempo up, and instead of holding point, go aggressively, but looks like for the time being, they are just going to hold the angles that they want to instead, and it looks like CalPoly's going to say, thanks, we'll just run to A.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the strat now, what? 2-3 rounds we've seen them do this. Send 2 up cat, send the rest down A main, and Party Kid just dashed towards gunfire. I mean, doing their best Steve Rogers impersonation, just trying to take bullets for the team right there as Party Kid, as they're able to find 2. And that's the name of the game, right? It's at this point, just how can we slow down Party Kid, because the shots aren't missing. They're playing super aggro. This is very, very difficult for USD.
It is indeed. They still have the Empress, but that's it. The other ultimates they had are offline. The lockdown would have been something that you really wanted to have for this ring, but they do commit the Empress here, and they're going to try to go through tree.
They certainly are, as Atlas going to find 2. That just makes it that much more winnable. Odds are in favor of USD, but as I say that, Roki Boy's going to find 1, not able to take down the final. Oh, and Warmest Aloha with the lineups. This is going to have to come in perfectly. Are they going to eat these? Not going to be able to. That's a huge clutch from Warmest Aloha. Can't count them out right there. That shows to me, Jag, that Warmest Aloha is comfortable. They are practiced, and they have those lineups dialed in. Look at that. Just falls right on top of Silva's head.
Yeah, they've practiced that throw before. They've been trying to, get their MLB pitching up to par there. Already had it one Nova Swarm there. Uses another one. Hits it perfectly. Stops the defuse from going out and also shuts down the Empress at the same time. Atlas was the win condition. Atlas could not get the job done. Even if Veggie Clapper had fallen, there might have been a chance if you got on the kill, you could get the rest of the defuse because it was already halfway done. So you only needed 2 seconds there, but CalPoly now going to be taking a lead. The alt economy has slipped in their favor. The credits economy has been their strength this entire game, and we've seen that USD can do some work with these sheriffs, but just hasn't been enough to win around Thrifty.
It certainly hasn't, and that's an early lockdown that gets popped on this B site. Maybe trying to pull rotations as they fake back onto A, and yeah, look at that. USD just early rotating. No player's going to get detained. We're going to see the Omen teleport back site, and that's the opening frag from Warmest Aloha. Party Kid's going to be on lurk duty, trying to find any bit of information they can. About to run into one, tailwinds into the smoke on the mini-map here, and Party Kid's going to come out ahead against Red Frog. That was the play for me right there, let alone the lockdown. Party Kid staying a little bit after the lurk was huge. Blue Frog not able to get it done. Roki Boy, and another 3K. Party Kid just looking like 10s. At the moment, just can't miss a daggone shot.
That's what you need from your Jet. You need them to be the person who gets onto the point first, is able to follow up with kills. And I mean, this happened a little bit ago, but I think, you notice that they tailwinded right into the fight. That's the kind of confidence you need. That's the kind of leadership you need there in a fight like that. Just kind of run right into the fire and then make sure that you can get 2 kills in that round. The round B previously, they got 1 kill and then found another one through the wall. This round, they get 3. They get a lot of credits from the spike plant. They're getting everything they want right now. There's really nothing that's going against them. And now USD, they use their best ultimates. All they have now is the Omen teleport, which in my opinion is very situational. So USD right now, as they're backing away from site, this is not looking good for them.
It certainly isn't. As Ketchup's going to find one, Party Kid's going to find the other, and this is just a steamroll. I mean, if you want a masterclass of how to play, look how pinned in Killjoy is on this B site. I mean, but Red Frog answers back, looking like a poison dart frog. Going to do some serious damage here onto Ketchup as well as the Silva. Can their compatriot Blue Frog shut it down? Can they stop this spike plant? They don't know that they're here. Oh, and just misses, but able to clean up the kill on Riyadh. But Warmest Aloha coming in clutch once again, giving their team the 2v1 advantage. We're going to see them place the Nanobot as well as the Alarm Bot and the Nano Swarm on site. Going to place both this time, which is an interesting one. Are they trying to boost? That doesn't work in Valorant, guys. You know that. Turret's going to go up. Oh, and a fake flashbang. I don't think they know that Jollery is not in heaven and that Joller is in tree until that door is broken.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you're Joller, I feel like your best choice there is actually try to play Archway, and try to see if you can catch out Warmest Aloha, but instead you try to take tree. Warmest Aloha is clutch once again, and this is starting to look very similar to what Ascent was like last night. There is 1 round win on the board so far for USD, but only 2 more rounds before we get to halftime. And if CalPoly has 11 round wins, all you need is pistol round, really. Realistically, they win the pistol round, and it's almost guaranteed they're going to win the next one because it forces USD to force buy every round. And even if they do win that next one, to keep it at 12-2. I mean, they can't keep winning every round, right? Eventually, they're going to have to give one up, and one is not what they'll be able to afford at that point.
You are right, and I have to give a huge shout out to our observer Juke, giving exactly what I wanted. Watch Party Kid with the op, but Atlas spoiling that party and just shutting them down with the operator. That could be a huge frag with some serious implications because Joller able to get the second one, 5v2, but gets caught looking at this recon dart spraying down the wall. Spraying through the wall is Roki Boy as Omen diff again. Instead of reloading, I'm going to take your gun and I'm just going to use it. Hunter's Fury. We've seen this again from USD. They're trying to just delay that spike plant, but a huge frag from Veggie Clapper to take down Roki Boy. And it's all going to be on this battle from Riyadh and Red Frog. Riyadh able to come out on top. that could be the world of a difference. They have the cross now. They know there's at least one player market. How's your timing? Oh, and just misses the spike. Or excuse me, the recon bolt. That's huge. Allows Atlas to cross, and now it's just a 1v1 on both sides of the map. Veggie Clapper, very nicely done, and credit to Atlas and Veggie Clapper, right? Working very well as a duo there. The recon dart from Veggie into B main gives Atlas enough time just to cross through B main and get onto site and isolate those two 1v1s.
I think Veggie Clapper was the MVP of that round. I mean, the Hunter's Fury, we saw it before. They used it the exact same way. This time, though, it found a lot of value. It connected all 3 times. One time it was on to the one planting it instead, so they don't get the kill off that, but they do get the kill onto Roki Boy. And then, again, we see that CalPoly, they really like to play this B main. Like you said, this is a B garage. They really like to play outside of attacker spawn, kind of in that hallway. Whenever they're on point. And I don't think it's the best angle to hold. It didn't really work out that time. They kind of got stuck in a corner, and it was just so unfortunate that they couldn't destroy the recon bolt. But what's even more unfortunate is that this ketchup spicy gonna get a 3K. This might be the ace.
Oh, Warmest Aloha gonna ruin the ace. That was just, I mean, Cass was cursed, but that was just downright dirty. Red Frog trying to get something done. Gets one in the end, but the 4K from from Ketchup. That is in full crispy HD. I mean, look at these shots here. 1, challenge, don't care that your recon dart sees me. 2, and my crosshair placement is just different, says this Ketchup is spicy.
Yeah, and we saw that exact same angle a bit earlier where you're playing kind of in the middle and you're trying to contest someone on catwalk, but there it was perfectly placed. They landed their shot, they hit it beautifully. But for USD, there is a lifeline because it's not 11-1, it is 12-2. That 1 round difference will give them a little bit more to work on if they do lose the pistol round. They give it up to 12. I mean, things get pretty dicey because then overtime is the only way you can win. But losing this pistol round isn't the end of the world. You don't have to force buy on the round after it. So USD, it's not great for them, but they're not out of the woods yet. And oh god, what a great push there from the defense.
Yeah, did anyone tell CalPoly that they're on the defensive side now? Because they are just running it down.
They don't care.
Yeah, this is the new meta that we're seeing, right? Not only in college Valorant, clearly, but also in professional, as Veggie Clapper takes down 1. Party Kid's going to answer, and so is Warmest Aloha. 4v2 situation, doesn't matter. Roki Boy just going to stomp on Red Frog's head like a Goomba and takes down Jolly Rory. But, Jag, this new meta that we're seeing, everyone's seen what FaZe Clan has been able to do, just dominating, playing such an aggressive style, and CalPoly's doing their best impression of it right here.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can't just run it down. You can't just int. You can't just run into the enemy team. You have to do it coordinated. You have to do it together as a 4 or 5 person squad. Sometimes you can have someone kind of roaming around. Sometimes you could have a Cypher Killjoy just playing on point. But there they execute it perfectly. They have a Jet initiate. They have the layer if they need to create space. And it's just it was a 3v1, I think, on that first kill. USD ran into a ton of people that didn't really know how to do it because they weren't expecting that. I wouldn't be expecting that. And again, I mean, it's just CalPoly. I think they're just playing a very polished, strategical game. And if they play it as a team continuously, it's going to be them taking this map very shortly.
Yeah, I certainly see it. Oh, Party Kid. Oh my goodness, no. Look at this massacre waiting to happen. The judge is in hand. Party Kid's going to pop, gets 1, gets Roki Boy, gets the 2nd. And a tailwind out of dodge, staying alive, 5v3. Ooh, Aloha, though, just doesn't care. No regard for human life on CalPoly, and a flawless coming out. I mean, Jag, we started this cast at what? 10 o'clock, I think, on the dot. We had a 5-minute little banter and vamp session. This map has taken maybe all of 17 minutes so far.
It has been a very quick map indeed. It's not over just yet, but it's very close to being. And I was wondering if CalPoly would just try to play for the end game right here, if they would, force up by assault rifles, but none of them can really afford it. They're all just a little bit short, so instead they're going to run with what we have. But we saw last time they actually won this round despite not having the superior firepower, so I would not put this out of anyone's hands. And Veggie Clapper turning around! Oh, that's not how you want to play that.
It certainly isn't. The recon bolt, I think, is what got Veggie Clapper to turn around. huge props to Riyadh right there. And Red Party Kids trying to spray through the smoke with that judge, not able to get anything done. Riyadh and Warmest Aloha find frags as well. 3v2 situation here. Blue Frog gets popped by Ketchup. I mean, this is like, you ever have one of those days where you have to hit the ketchup bottle to get it out? This is the exact opposite. Fresh bottle of ketchup, just everything is flowing out. This was ridiculous from CalPoly.
Yeah, it was a very clean victory. Not as clean as what we saw last night from Texas A&M, mind you, because that was a 13-0. But a 13-2, that is not a bad way to get your W either. And USD, I mean, at the end, there's actually a chance they're able to take out Party Kid, who had the judge, but they leave the spike all the way back near spawn. You got to rotate all the way from A. So there you can see the coordination. It just wasn't there. CalPoly, it's the exact opposite. Their coordination was off the charts. They're working together like a 5-person unit. I mean, it seems like all their brains are in sync for the most part. Very few miscalculations. The aggression on defense was incredible. You don't see it very often, but it came out every round, and it seems like regardless of the fact that it was the three-peat, speaking of three-peats, USD was just never ready for it.
Yeah, and CalPoly, we talk about at the top of the show, they are right on that cusp. They're right on the bubble of getting relegated, and they are fighting right now, making a statement to the other teams that you're going to have to come and take it from us. We are trying to make that second round robin. I think they're in what? They're one spot above it at the moment. If not, they're that first team out. So they really, really don't want to give that spot up. And credit to them, they showed it right here. I mean, look at the scoreboard, 19, 9, and 3 from Spicy Ketchup. Warmest Aloha, though, with a great econ rating at 110. That doesn't go unnoticed. Just being the team player, making sure they don't die, keep those weapons. 5 deaths. That's just unheard of from Warmest Aloha. But Jag, map number 1 is in the books. That was the choice of CalPoly. Map number 2 is Haven. We will be running into that next. USD, this is a map that we've seen them win on before. We know they like it. We'll have to see if they're able to perform on it again, but stick around. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, map number 2 between USD and CalPoly Pomona will be right there. Stick around. Welcome back, everyone. We just saw a dominating performance from CalPoly Pomona on Ascent. Jag, what can you tell us about that game and the teams, and the team compositions that really just took hold from CalPoly?
I mean, we talked about this at the very beginning. The only difference was the Jet versus the Rays. And honestly, I mean, the Rays on the side of USD didn't do too bad, but you could just see that Party Kid on this Jet looked incredible, was always being the initiator, ran in, uses the dash, uses their cloud smokes, takes over a point, gets a ton of kills. And while they did great in the duelist role, I think Warmest Aloha deserves a very special shout out. We talked about silent carries, usually the Omen or the Sova at the very beginning. How they're, those roles that don't really frag out as much, but then they're just doing all they can behind the scenes to get assists or kills. But Warmest Aloha, they only died 5 times. They got a ton of kills. They clutched out quite a few rounds, especially with their Killjoy utility. So it was a great job all the way around. And if you're USD, you got to be thinking, man, like, what can we do here? Because that was a map they said they liked. This is the other map that they say they really like. So, if you get 13-2'd on a map that you feel pretty confident on, how do you feel going into Haven? Probably not super great.
Yeah, you're certainly right. And taking a look here, I believe USD is going to be on the attack first. So Haven's one of those maps where it is attack-sided. Hopefully they can start to get the flow of some rounds, if I'm not mistaken, right? USD's on attack. I'm almost positive. Let me check the in-game notes first.
I think CalPoly's on the attack.
CalPoly's on attack.
USD
right,
Haven.
So scratch that. Don't know what I'm talking about. East Coast timing has got me all kinds of messed up. But nonetheless, we will see Haven. And taking a look at these team comps, do you expect anything to change here, Jag?
Yeah, I think bringing on the Phoenix is a really smart play, but it's interesting that for the side of USC, they're bringing on, instead of a Sova, so they're going to be running double duelist again, but they're actually going to be running double sentinel. This is very, very interesting. So they're going to have a lot of lockdown potential. You can basically put them on different sides of the map, one on A, one on C. I think Cyber works out really well on A, and then Killjoy over Turret works out really well on C, but honestly, you can mix them around. But if you don't have a good defensive round, or good defensive rounds, I guess, before halftime, for USD, this comp just does not end up working out at all. I'm a little bit surprised we're seeing right now. Wow, I did not expect the Rays to come out here for Party Kid. They've actually swapped to the Rays themselves, and they're putting this Ketchup Spicy on Jet. I'm kind of shocked about that, because I feel like they did so well, CalPoly did, with Party Kid on Jet, but they've swapped up who's playing what for their duelists. Ketchup played pretty well on the Reyna, but why not just have them play the Rays instead if you really want to run that?
Yeah, it's an interesting decision, and I think it may be a difference of just being more comfortable on the operator. I'm curious to know what that decision was to switch Party Kid off of the Jet and onto the Rays. So we'll have to put a tick mark in that one to make sure we ask about that if CalPoly does end up winning this game and we get the interview. So mark that one down in your books. I will see what we can do if we can get an answer to that. But the other big thing that I want to highlight is Red Frog from USD. You were playing a duelist this last map. Now you're on Cypher duty, so you have to completely change up how you approach the game and what your style is right now. So I'm curious to see how this one comes out from Red Frog.
Yeah, they switched Veggie, right? They switched them from the Sova to duelist. They switched their best duelist player now to Sentinel. There's a lot of changes that USD is making here. I feel like this is a pretty set play based on how they're going about this, but is it going to be enough? Right now Ketchup Spicy just roaming around A, but do they have any idea that they're moving on to C? I guess they do.
Yeah, and look at the mini-map. The rotations are going to start to come in now. Ketchup is Spicy going to look to lurk into middle, but Party Kid just continuing their domination from last round, finding that frag right there. 4v3. CPP is starting off the same way they ended that one, and that is hot. Warmest Aloha going to find the headshot onto Veggie Clapper in Garage, and that was really close to a flawless from CalPoly.
I feel like just so many things have swapped here. I'm not even sure to keep track of what. You see also, actually, we haven't even touched upon it, but CalPoly, they have swapped a lot of their roles up too. Warmest Aloha, they were on Sentinel, now they're on a controller. Ryad, they were playing the Sova, now Roki Boy's playing the Sova. And, Roki Boy was on, I believe, the Omen last time. So there have been a lot of switches for both sides, but it's very early on. So I don't want to cast or curse it, but at least from what we've seen in this very small sample size, it's the same result despite these changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we see Roki Boy trying to get some info with that recon dart. I don't think they're going to tag anything just yet. And look at this, just immediate take of the site through the Cypher cage. Warmest Aloha takes down Veggie Clapper. And 2 players already looking at the flank for CalPoly. Not able to get enough shots in as Riyad's going to be on 6 HP. Red Frog looking to force the issue, not able to do it. And that was just a plethora of kills going in favor of CalPoly. And Jag, you know, we talk a lot about the pacing of a Valorant game. And similar to what we saw Texas A&M do yesterday on Haven, CalPoly is executing extremely fast and with no remorse. They are not looking back at all.
And I thought for a second there, I was like, no, this is not going to happen. Yeah, so I thought for maybe just a moment Party Kid would go for the operator, but that just doesn't really make sense with the rest of the team. They did die, so they have to go for the Phantom buy. They should be able to still buy next round. You're completely right. I mean, they're setting the pace. They're setting the tone. They are running in. It doesn't really matter if it's attack or defense. I think their defense in particular was really spectacular on Ascent for the short time they had it. But they look right at home on the attack every time. They're just able to run onto plant and get that spike plant. And they've set it up perfectly. It's going to be visible from mid, so now they can just take those long sight lines. But Rayad maybe going a little bit too close to the sun there.
Yeah, I mean, look at that was just blistering. I think the spike went down within 10 seconds. Gonna tap the spike here. Is Ketchup Spicy trying to stay patient and not buy into any fakes. Gonna take down one thanks to Party Kid. Jolly Rory is gonna find Warmest Aloha. They are just trying to stall. Is CalPoly. That's gonna spot 2. They know there's not a player on the spike. Ketchup's gonna take down Jolly. Oh, and it's just left up to 1. I don't know if the timing's going to be there. Can Roki Boy get the frag? No, but is there enough time to defuse? I don't know. Jag, I don't think there is.
There isn't.
Oh!
So close. That was so freaking close there. And if they just held that just a second sooner, they would have been all right. But Red Frog does not go for the defuse right away. Blue Frog does get the kill, cleans it up, but Red Frog's just a little bit too hesitant there. Oh my goodness, that was so close, Speezy. And again, every time we think, oh, this bonus round is definitely going to be going the way of USD, it just never seems to do so. That was a great win for CalPoly. Their economy is going to be looking really nice. And you see USD, they're going to have to go for a bit of a light buy, a Bucky, a Sheriff, a Ghost. It's a whole kind of arrangement of different sidearms, but none of them are going to be able to fight against these ARs.
Yeah, and I'm genuinely curious to know if Ketchup's keyboard is broken, because the only key they've hit is W. This entire game, it has been W and mouse 1. I mean, there is no... How do you defend against this? You're running a double sentinel on the side of USD, and that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I think maybe you just try to double stack them, honestly, because splitting them is not working at all. Now it's only Veggie Clappers alive, and you do get the Phantom, but everyone's going to be on you because that was a great Sova dart. Yeah, that is it. So, yeah, what do you do right now if you're USD? I feel like maybe just double stack with both the Killjoy and the Cypher. I thought that one of them would be enough to kind of deter CalPoly, but like you said, all they know is W. There is no backing out of a point or a fight once they get into it. So clearly just having a Cypher or a Killjoy alone is not enough. I think you just gotta try to, or maybe just have, maybe just give up on B, maybe give up on Garage, try to, give some backup to one of these Sentinels, because they've been having 2 people on for the most part. As you see, they have the Reyna in the Cypher, but just regardless, nothing is stopping CalPoly from just walking in.
Yeah, are we gonna see, a double dink there from Veggie Clapper, gonna molly it, try and slow them down, and I think what CalPoly was trying to do right there was the strat we saw earlier in that bonus round, where they sent it straight down middle, tried to get the plant front sight, and then just hold on for dear life as Party Kid's gonna take down a player with that showstopper. Veggie Clapper here looking to find the frags, and this is the same thing we saw like in that bonus round. They're just gonna play to keep the spike going and scratch that. They're gonna play just to frag out. It literally does not matter. I think, Jag, I asked you the question last round. How do you slow this down? In my opinion, there's 2 options. One, you just try and gamble stack a site at this point, right? Throw 5 players on one site and hope for the best. Or 2, leave this B site open and stack 2 on A, 2 on C, and 1 in Garage. I really
Yeah.
think those are the only ways you can slow CalPoly down right now.
There
Maybe
could be a
attack
third
Poly.
option. I was gonna say there could be a third
Okay.
option, which would be just run out, like we saw from Cal Poly earlier on. Maybe try to catch them off guard, try to take over mid, but instead they're just sitting on point. They are not like I agree with you. I think that giving up on B is the play because again you're just seeing that Jollar is left alone and they are immediately taken out.
And I would love to see if we can get a replay of that view right there from, I believe it was Jollar Rory. Omen stuck that ultimate. Like, the TP was backside as Veggie Clapper finds 2. And we're in a 2v2, but this is very winnable still for CalPoly, as the Cypher's going to have low HP, and now Veggie Clapper is as well. Going to upgrade that Spectre to a the Stinger into a Vandal and start to heal themselves up, but I don't think there's enough time on the clock to get this one done.
The Silence are just so good. They don't have enough health. I think they're like, maybe you commit the run it back to try to get information. Though you do trade out, but there's not enough time. No, it's over, and you're not even going to be able to get out with your life. And I don't know if Roki Boy will either. I think they'll just, they'll be just barely all right. Just you see it goes off at the very end. I think they're, I mean, they commit the Neural Theft, so they know exactly where CalPoly is hiding. So I'm shocked they don't commit the run it back as well. You saw that they use the hot hands to heal themselves up, but you just run in and like, oh, they're back on C long. We can just try to take the fight to them, maybe do some more damage, maybe even get a kill to run it back, make it a 2v1, and everything kind of flips in your favor, but they're saving that run it back for a rainy day instead, and I'm not sure that rainy day is going to come because right now it is hailing and CalPoly is taking all of these rounds.
They certainly are, and Ketchup gets shut down. That could be the answer, is the Zoom Banger from Atlas, right? Not able to hit the second shot and gets punished by Party Kid. He knows there's one close right, doesn't care. Roki Boy got that frag, has their teammates back, and are you kidding me? The go button was popped. They know the spike's down, and Jollar has that run it back, so certainly could get something done with that. Riyadh gonna pick up the spikes, get spotted. Warmest Aloha on the trade. You knew that one was coming. Spikes going down, and Jollar Rory, as soon as they peek, Warmest is blasting their face off. But no! Jollar Rory able to get the frag and possibly pull it back, but the reload just doesn't get it done from Jollar Rory. Riyadh had perfect timing on that debate. And there we see a little tactical crouching, just sending a message here to the side of USD Coyotes.
I'm sure the button just got stuck. It didn't mean anything, obviously. Oh, obviously. But there, it's just such unlucky timing. It's a perfect bait there by Riyadh. I mean, they catch them in the middle of reloading. They have to try to, switch guns really quickly to try to even get a chance in that fight. It doesn't work out. And the lockdown was there. They could have committed it really early on. So I think, again, like USD, they're stacking ultimates. And that's great to win one round. If you use all 4, you'll probably win it, but you're so far behind right now. It's looking even worse than it was at Ascent. Now you're finally going to use the run it back. Will you use anything else with it? So far, no. And this run it back's actually not going to get anything out of it in the very end.
And Ketchup just going to updraft flicks to Red Frog with a right click, and that's got to be the round already. Ketchup is already into A lane. Doesn't matter. Oh, Jollar Rory and Blue Frog making them pay for the aggression that they showed here, as they are just running it down. Party Kid is just, no, Party Kid, stop it. Do not knife them. Party Kid. Oh, you dirty man. Thought we were going to see a knife like yesterday really send a message as they take out Jollar. But Veggie Clapper on a flank of their own here takes down one. Not going to have time. Caught with their knife down and pants around the ankles as Party Kid takes us into round number 9.
And it was a great rotation, just a great flank. They roamed all the way. No one was expecting it. They used the lockdown, and it didn't find anything there. You see there, I mean, they used 2 ultimates. Neither of them really found what they needed to, even after Hunter's Fury was used. I think that's maybe what they were waiting for, is they didn't want it to be broken, because Hunter's Fury will break the Killjoy lockdown ultimate. But there, they use it. It doesn't even matter. It's just arrays on the flank. Doesn't use a knife. I think that's smart, honestly. Don't even risk the knife. Just go for the insta-hand shot, then make sure you can get the spray transfer onto the Killjoy ultimate, shut it down, and then just get to point. Great plays. And I mean, look at this. CalPoly, they're using 2 ultimates right off the bat.
And Party Kid gets the party started with the showstopper. Jollar Rory gonna punish them, though. Got a little bit too big. Ketchup takes down Blue Frog. Spike is going down, and is the timing gonna work out? No, Jollar gonna make Ketchup pay. Picks up a gun, gets another. Timing, though, not there. Riyadh able to get the frag onto Veggie Clapper. And now it's Red Frog left in a 2v1 situation. Dos y mano. I think that's right. My Spanish isn't fantastic, but that shock dart just misses Red Frog. Could cage around this as well, just to at least give themselves a fighting chance, and the timing not going to work out. Recon dart's going to go. Red Frog tags him. Gonna bait. Doesn't matter. Red Frog doesn't fall for it.
No problem.
Gets the kill and gets USD Coyotes on the board. Yes, this one is going to come in just in time. I love the spray there from Red Frog. I wonder if they put that in the game just for them. And Blue Frog.
Fortunately, it's a green frog, but I'm sure they'll be asking Riot to, maybe have some color variations. They're just, I feel like, CalPoly, they got a little bit too big for their britches. Like, you don't really need to peek this for any reason. You can just play the objective. You could have played back on Long like they did previously, but at the end of the day, it's only one round with how CalPoly is playing. I'm sure they're not going to think too much about that one. I was going to say they actually started it off really well. I love that they're using ultimates right away. They are just running in with ruthless aggression. The Showstopper creates so much space. The Umatomer gets them recon because they can, get in, and then if they get, killed immediately, they know there's someone right there. Doesn't get them a recon dart onto B, but it's still bouncing. We'll see where it ends up. I don't think it's going to be too important.
Yeah, just missing the lineup there from CalPoly Pomona is Roki. That's a very pertinent lineup. It goes straight through the temple and drops onto the back of B site. I saw what they were trying to do. I've seen it done a number of times, but that's a difficult one to hit. You have to have the power bars. I think it's like 2 3/4 way full, but CalPoly looking lost here in a 2v1. Oh, just playing what a shot from Roki and Ketchup, playing a duo. Doesn't matter. Blue Frog and Veggie Clapper gonna get it done, and that looked very, very dicey for a couple of seconds there on the side of USD.
It did, but they get the job done. The rotation coming in from A is stellar. Blue Frog had some great plays, and I got to question why you're pushing in to a Phoenix when you see the hot hands on the ground. I mean, you're just running into certain death if you don't find the instant one tap. So not a great play there in Garage. CalPoly, they were just down that entire end. And this is actually looking really nice for USD. They've won 2 rounds in a row. It's not too much, and at most they'll be able to get 4 rounds total before the swap, but that momentum going into attack could be the difference maker. You can't get too comfortable if you're CalPoly because this game can flip on a dime. Their economy is good enough for now, but I think if they lose one more, they might not be able to buy fully.
Yeah, I have to agree. Look at this. I mean, at this point, all USD can do is play retake. There's no way you try to hold this as 2, but nonetheless, they do indeed. Red Frog, Blue Frog, 1 fish, 2 fish, does not matter. That's going to be the spike planted, and CPP is on the defensive now. Red Frog still with a huge nerd cam in the sky. Jolly Warrior's in there for the for backup. We're going to see Neural Theft get popped, and so does Ketchup. They get popped as well. Roki trying to play the time. Only has a classic in hand, not able to get it done. Tries to get up close with a right click, and no. Veggie Clapper answers back with the frag onto Roki Boy. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't too confident in that push from CalPoly, but I mean, USD, I thought they were going to have to give up sight so much sooner with the way they were set up there.
But they didn't, and I think that's one thing they've learned from Ascent is, like, you can still play Heaven, you can still play a little bit outside of it. Just make sure that you're not pushing too far back. We're giving great advantage to the attack. There you see just, wow, just really lucky there to get the kill onto Ormus Loha, and from there, it was just kind of a bit of a roll. And the problem is right now, if you're CalPoly and you've got your Sova alive, you need Roki Boy to get as far back as possible. You've got to have the Hunter's Fury as the recontest. Instead, they played that very close up. It did not work out. And now, I mean, you're going to see, yeah, there isn't a great buy. I mean, you've got the Blade Storm, so that's not too bad for the Jet, but there are some Light Shields coming online as well. So CalPoly not going to be able to get that double-digit number that they had last time going into halftime. And Coyotes, now they have an operator, and they've got a bit of momentum.
They certainly do. Party Kid back on that judge duty, trying to buy a little bit of space with the paint cans, and this is a strat that we've seen work a number of times. Oh, Blue Frog has no clue that the judge is lying right around this corner.
Double kill!
2 through the paranoia. What I mean, Party Kid just blasting away. Atlas no good on the flick. Ketchup finds one, and the Hunter's Fury gets popped. I mean, Veggie Clapper is all but clapped. Riyadh gonna take the ego challenge and win it. clean round right there. And that's a strat that we've seen, what? I think if I check my notes, 4 times now from the side of Cal Poly is just run it down B and try and get the spike plan.
And it worked out, I think, 3 of those 4 times. So, I mean, it's really smart there. This is just so unlucky. Party Kid just kind of knew that they'd kind of coming around the corner. They have it off by just an inch. They probably lose that battle, but that really turned the tide in that fight. Cal Poly, they walk away with 9 rounds as they go to defense. It's not as said and done with as it was for the Coyotes, like it was on Ascent, but it's still looking very tricky. They're going to have to win a lot of rounds in a row to bring it back, and this is an attacker-sided map. I will say that. We talked about this a bit earlier, how, with 3 points, it's much harder to defend, but they did not have a great defensive round. Cypher in particular, I feel like besides the camera, isn't that great on attack, so it's more just a body you're throwing at a point. And oh boy, we've seen this already from Cal Poly so many times, and they are not stopping for any reason or anyone.
They certainly are. And I mean, again, we don't know what side they're playing on. It looks like they're on attack, but they are on the defensive as Party Kid gets the party started again, looking like that Will Smith song from the early 2000s, able to take down Veggie Clapper. And that's huge because now flashbangs are very, very hard to come by if you're the USD Coyotes. Party Kid gets the jet cloudburst and gets another frag. Trying to do a little bit of damage onto Jolly Rory. They have the spike, and Party Kid looking for the ace here as they find the 3rd kill. Gonna walk right into Roki Boy. Roki Boy, though, only 22 HP, finds the Dream, and Atlas able to get a frag. Picks up the spike. They have to know every player's on the flank. Every single one of them. The timing, though. Will they be able to do it, or are Cal Poly gonna check short? Just passing 2 ships in the night.
They're chasing.
30 seconds
left. This is just ring around the rosy. Atlas has a pocket full of, oh my gosh. Atlas, you naughty armadillo. Just stays quiet, lets the enemy team rotate. I think they may have taken off just a bit too early. Didn't hold that shift key. And gonna get the spike down, though, so we have to give them credit. Literally, they will get the credits down for that. And Atlas gonna try and do their best. This could be the opening frag. Omen is low. Has to check the right corner. Party Kid, though. 4K. That was almost so good from Atlas.
It was great play to stay alive. It was a great play to get the credits for their economy. But I think they showed their hand a little bit too soon. I think they could have waited a few more seconds before they got that spike plant and hope that, Cal Poly just rotates all the way off, goes all the way to B and C instead of still being around A, because as you saw, there was actually a very quick recontest from Party Kid. Just found the angle as, unfortunately, Atlas tried to get through that back to spawn side, but could not. It was just like threading the needle there. It was such a close quarters engagement, and I just don't even know how that ended up getting the kill, but it did. And now, it's 3 more rounds for Cal Poly to put this game away. Things are looking really, really good for them. And again, they're just going to play super aggro, but look at who is waiting around the corner right now for Ketchup Spicy. I would love to see how this engagement goes.
Oh, with the shorty in hand.
Sidestepping each other again.
Oh, this is Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. Ketchup has no clue there's a player behind him, and that's going to be the last player. Red Frog just wondering what the heck happened to the team there. They have control of the spike. They have Cam, but I'm sure they won't use it here. Probably just going to walk out and try and grab the spike. Oh, I don't think No? Not going to grab the spike? Okay.
Yeah, didn't get it there. But I don't think they realize where it is, but now they might be rotating back, and that's going to be the knife attempt.
No,
Do they get the knife kill? They get the knife kill!
And no pun intended, Jag, that's the dagger of this game. I hate to say it, but we saw it yesterday. What one simple BM knife can do to a team. Look at this. That should Riot. We have some explaining to do. That close should have been a headshot. I'm very curious to see the damage chart right there from Red Frog as they get taken out with the knife.
I think that just shows you that the shorty is not really in a great place right now. That definitely, I'm shocked that wasn't a kill, but it isn't. And what is Cal Poly going to be buying an Operator and an Odin here, so actually I think that's from the attackers, so they are going to be bringing in Odin Coyotes. They're going to be trying to find something, and they already get the first kill on the Party Kid, so they tried playing aggro, and it did not work out for them.
Yeah, and I love what they're doing. It's CalPoly Pomona. They are challenging everything. I mean, you can't take a single step right now unless you're Veggie Clapper, and even then, doesn't matter. Warmest Aloha just holds down the A key, runs sideways, and sprays with that Spectre to take one down. Roki, how's your timing? It's fantastic. Can they find another? Yes, they can. There's one more player on the other side of the door. Roki goes for it, not able to get it done. Jolly Rory going to take them down. C-Site not exactly clear just yet, as you still have to get through the Zoom banger. That operator. Catch up. Misses the first shot. Warmest Aloha makes Atlas play it.
He's going for a second knife.
You dirty. Oh, Jolly Rory. Can they punish them for going the knife? Nope. Riyadh is going to punish you for running around like that. We are on map point. Jag, we're 45 minutes into 2 maps. They won't run 5 ops. Oh, stop. If
double
CPP
op for now.
runs 3 ops. Oh, double op and a Marshall?
Actually, Party Kid decides to go with the Judge, so I feel like they want to play this a bit more aggressive. Not exactly sure what's going on, because that was at least one op. Maybe that was left behind, so interesting play. They might be, sometimes you'll see that they'll get 2 guns, just, one as a backup in case things get a bit, like, hasty. They'll just have one on the ground if need be, but we'll see how this plays out. I can't believe that Warmest Aloha went for that knife there. They get the kill, then they throw out their smoke, and they try to run through it. That was almost a disaster, actually. USD got a few kills off the back of that, almost were able to win out, but just wasn't clutch enough. And Party Kid just, again, with this Judge. But is he going to be looking the right way?
Yeah, gets caught with the timing. Jolly Rory on the opposite side of this smoke here. A short. Riyadh just going to get out in time, but there is one player detained. Could they be using this as a bait? Warmest Aloha going to get tagged by Blue Frog, and that's a vital mistake. It's catch up, making it real spicy. Makes that Zoom banger sing sweet nothings into the ears of the Killjoy. I mean, you could just have your teammates stick this, essentially, and just watch the angle from long, but there is Atlas creeping up short. Do they know? Spicy catch-up, gonna smoke it off. They're playing time. Oh, the double swing, not able to get it done. Switches to the classic Atlas. Atlas is gonna find the frag onto Roki Boy and make CalPoly Pomona pay for doing that. I mean, you start around with a Judge and a Marshall. When you had an economy that was that booming, it's a bit of a questionable decision. I think CalPoly is just looking to have a good time for the rest of this map.
Yeah, you don't want to be here for a long time because that good time could end very shortly. I mean, 8 rounds in a row, it's definitely going to be difficult for Coyotes, but it is possible. I mean, the economy isn't great for them, but they do get the operator, which I think is the biggest thing, and I think also CalPoly just really misplayed that. If you've got the Odin, they should be the person who is defending the diffuser. It should not be the operator, because Odin, I mean, you can just keep spraying, you can keep praying, you miss the shot with the op, and it's going to be over for both of you.
It certainly could be. Look at the angle, but it gets checked. Huge play right there to take down Warmest Aloha. CalPoly now has no smokes other than a 4-second cloudburst to work with, and that's a ton of information gained and space taken. As we see CPP on the minimap, that Jet was starting to rotate before coming right back onto site. I don't think they know that. Look at the trigger discipline. Takes down one, tags up the other, tries to 360 MLG. No scope, doesn't work as Blue Frog takes down Ketchup. Roki trying to pre-fire this angle and gets punished by Blue Frog. I'm in the camp, Jag, that thinks that Ion operator is similar to the Prime Vandal. It's busted. There's something about that skin that just makes it so much better, but there's something about Riyadh that just makes them different against Blue Frog. Curveball goes out, dodges both of them. Looking like Muhammad Ali, the way they move and groove, float like a butterfly, sting like a Riyadh. Is that going to be the story of this? Finds one. Doesn't know who the last player is, but here's that Lear go out. Can they find a timing?
Oh my goodness.
For the win. What a 3K. I think we officially have to change that saying to float like a butterfly, sting like a Riyadh. That was just downright beautiful. And CalPoly Pomona going to take it home 13-4.
Yeah, and it was a little bit less dominant than it was on Ascent. I feel like there were some rounds there where they kind of memed a bit too hard, but it's still a great scoreline. I believe the entire thing ends up being 26 to, I believe, 6 rounds. That's about a 20-round differential, so not too shabby for CalPoly. They went for the shotguns. They went for the knives. They usually found them. That time, though, they didn't go for a meme play. They just went for the clutch. Riyadh came out swinging, and that was so winnable for USD. If their Reyna had just peeked out a second sooner, if Atlas had taken a bit more of an aggressive approach, they just run into them into 2v1. I mean, you don't have to play that carefully. You know exactly where that cipher is, or at least approximately where they are. So why are you slow peeking it? And that's what happens, the bait from there from Rhea just immediately taps it for a second, then gets up and then just hits the headshot of a century. And CalPoly, I mean, we're gonna have to see how things shake out with the rest of their games, but they are right now, I believe, in relegation technically, even though they are tied with the two teams that are above them. But if one of those wins, then they are going to be out of that relegation zone.
They certainly are. They're hoping from a loss from either University of Oregon or CU Boulder to take that. That would put UO Esports or CU Boulder on 3-4, and Cal Poly currently 4-3. So they really want to make this second round robin. And again, it showed. They looked polished. I think if they can take this kind of gameplay into the next couple of weeks, they have a very, very good chance of making that second round robin that we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's interesting, just briefly before we go to break, that Cal Poly, they started off the season so hot and then they kind of simmered down. So this could kind of be their rebirth right now, starting here tonight.
Yeah, Cal Poly trying to do their best Phoenix impression. Still, they will rise. And folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have a player from CalPoly Pomona, and we will ask them the hard-hitting questions. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, gamers. Jag and I are joined by the one, the only. It's Ketchup Spicy. Ketchup, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, feeling good.
I mean, after that dominating victory we saw you guys just take, I have to ask. You pick Ascent map number 1. You come out just swinging outside of the gates. Somebody on your team had a 3K, at least in the first 5 rounds. There were multiple 3Ks. Can you tell me a bit about the warm-up process that you guys have whenever you're playing one of these matches for CF1? Is it a warm-up scrim? You just going into solo queue, hitting aim labs? What's that looking like?
For us, we actually went through a scrim just right before this, like a best of 3 scrim. So yeah, that's what helped us come into this since we lost like our previous 3 matches.
All right, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know, you go through one best 3 to win this one tonight, so congratulations there. I want to ask about going from Ascent to Haven. You guys made some swaps. Not only did you and your duelist partner swap agents a little bit, you went from the Reyna to the Jet, and they went to the Rays. But there were some other swaps there. I believe you had some players like go from controllers to sentinels. So was that something that you guys had planned on already to make all those swaps, or was it more like you guys felt so comfortable after Ascent that you could just kind of have a bit more fun with it?
Usually we have those as set agents for each specific map, just for like say like if party kids like more comfortable on one map, like with this character, then we'll try to be flexible around that.
Makes sense. And I mean, it seems like you guys knew exactly what you wanted to do as soon as the agent select screen came up. I was just a bit surprised to see your Omen, go to Cypher or vice versa. But moving on from that question, I mean, it's a great win tonight. There is a bit of a battle to stay out of regulation. A win here is going to help you guys stay alive, but going into a bye week, you will not have another match until round 9, and that's going to be against WGA Valorant, who are currently entering this week 5-1. So, going into a matchup that will be pretty difficult. Do you guys feel like tonight has built some confidence going into that match in 2 weeks, or do you still have some work to do?
We definitely feel like we could beat them. We just need the confidence to do so, since especially if we have Ascent as a map. We took Ascent off of SGSU, which is probably like the best team in our group right now.
Certainly. I mean, for many, SJSU is the number 1 team in all of CF1, depending on who you ask. So being able to take that map off of SJSU is huge. And can you give us any kind of insight as to what implications taking that map off of them had? Was there anything that you could learn or felt that you can take to other maps after winning that matchup?
I think our default is actually really good on Ascent, and we should like take that into like different maps too, because other maps we don't really default, we just practice executions.
Absolutely. Well, it's Ketchup Spicy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to, any thanks you want to give, the floor is yours, my friend.
I just want to say shout out to my CPP team and to Party Kid too, because Party Kid will never be better than me. So that's about it.
I like it.
A little spicy. Love the interplay with the team. It's always a good time to see that camaraderie. But folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. Jag, there's no one else I'd want to go back to back with. Thank you for joining us. And on behalf of the rest of the production, Juke, Jag, Kieran, Scott, and this whole CF1 family, thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow night for the CF1 Fight Night. Make sure you check that out. Discord in Twitch chat. Maybe you get to play some games with me, some of the other guys. Hey, maybe it's Ketchup Spicy is going to be joining us. But we'll see you folks tomorrow, and if not, we will have another cast for you on Monday. So keep it locked to CF1's Twitter at CF1 Esports. It's been a fantastic night. We'll see you guys later. Take care.